Throwing now, Lawrence on first down. On the slant, this is Chark.
Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage, got right into his route, and the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Here's Lawrence.
And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Jets are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line.
Well, this D, particularly the secondary, has been picked apart at points here tonight. They finally, though, get to the quarterback in a pick.
And we know this about him. He loves night games, loves the spotlight, loves being the center of attention. I will bet you that he ran off the field almost chuckling to himself. They finally got one. They finally got me. I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now they try the right side here. And all the way to the 25 before he's hit and dropped. I don't think that's what the defensive coordinator had in mind there. You got him pinned back inside the 5, and then you let him rip off that long run.
You're already anticipating the film session, aren't you?
There's going to be some anger.
Yeah, there's not going to be at the greatest hits, is it? Because they didn't hit anyone on that play. Supposed to have them pinned back deep. Instead, they leave a big crack, a gaping hole, and guess what? They're in bad position right now.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Play action. It's Wilson. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack.
On 3rd down, Wilson.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah. Will they make up for it?
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
They go play action now. Lawrence
And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. A.J. Epinesa able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up fourth down. On fourth down, on is Logan Cook to punt. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. And the Jets offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 2nd and 5 now. Wilson. And he's got the hook up to Moore. The 30. 10. Touchdown Jets. Elijah Moore. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Jets get the quick strike touchdown. Lutz to try to add the PAT. He's got it, and they're back within a touchdown at 28-21. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now.
Bert, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he will finally be taken down at the Jets' 20.
48 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
So a big play as it gets him all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation.
And the Jets are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They get him that time thanks to the safety blitz as he sank for a loss of 4.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
And that is incomplete.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10.
Lawrence. That's taken in by Duvernay. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath
as we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in this second half. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Here's Lawrence to throw. He'll drop this one off with ETN. And he is going to have a Jags first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence.
Forced out to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
So much for the best laid plans and best designed plays. That was good coverage along the sidelines. No place for that one to get in there. It sails incomplete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Again, it's Lawrence.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Ready, ready. Hey, rock it. 18,
On 1st and 10, it's ETN.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Here's the former Heisman winner. It's Derrick Henry.
And the Jags are going to have a 1st and goal as he's able to take this inside the 10 to the 8.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
And now they'll throw it with Lawrence.
Eluding the pressure right. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Devin Duvernay
There to make the grab.
And the Jaguars take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Wilson gets rid of it quickly, and they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 15. 67 yards on the ground for him so far.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Now a handoff looking right. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. They go play action with Wilson. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Jets are able to cut into this deficit. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the 3rd quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Lawrence. He'll get this off to ETN.
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 4th down. Here's Lawrence.
He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he's brought down, but following a pretty juke move that gives him the 1st down. Both sides were holding their breath there on that 4th down play, and the offense can breathe a sigh of relief.
And both knew exactly where the 1st down markers were. You know the defense is trying to guard those sticks and try and keep people in front, but somehow, some way, those guys found a way to pick it up.
Meanwhile, Lawrence's throw taken in by Grant.
Oh, what a juke into space. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And they'll throw on 1st down with Lawrence.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Grant.
7 yards, the pickup there.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence.
And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
From the shotgun, Lawrence.
And Shark calls it in. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars.
Devin Duvernay
there to make the grab.
And the Jaguars are about to make it 4 straight as they add to this 4th quarter advantage.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48.
73 yards rushing for him now to this point.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Play action. Now Wilson. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24.
Foyesade Aluakin. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
To try again after the sack. Wilson. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now Wilson. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. A great play there. There to make the grab.
And the Jets have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Now a throw here to his running back. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action with Lawrence.
He's going to fire one deep over the middle.
And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
After what they faced during this game where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
And that's complete to Etienne out of the backfield.
And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the 1st down. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks, don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession.
Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. So now at 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look, 6 DBs. Now Wilson. He's going to let it fly. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. He's picked off at his own 47.
With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys, they've been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
Lawrence's throw is on target to Duvernay. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Throw left side complete. That's Grant. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now. These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Now Lawrence. Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator,